From the basement of La Penta, this is WICR.
Hello, Iona College. Welcome back to the WICR Morning Show. I'm your host with the most, Jersey Joe, calling with the regular Monday cast of Ian Sachs and Ken Reichman. Gentlemen, it was a nice long weekend. Are you feeling rested up, ready to go?
Always rested up and ready to go, Joe.
There you go. Well, before we get into the plan, the game plan for today, let's read some news. You've got London Study Abroad. There you go. You got to get the little lines in there. You got Study Abroad in London, June 29th to July 20th, 2015. For information, contact studyabroad@iona.edu or Dr. DeFino, London coordinator at ddefino@iona.edu. Sounds like a good opportunity there. I think Ian Sachs, you're going, aren't you?
Ian Sachs going to London?
You're going to London?
No?
Oh, no?
Oh, dude, are you going anywhere?
Home.
Okay.
Home. There you go.
Ian Sachs.
There you go, Ian.
I got to say, if there's one thing I wish I could have done here, it was, study abroad.
That is, you know what? The more and more I think about it,
stuck stateside for the whole time.
I would definitely like to. I would like to go to Italy if I did it for study abroad. That would be nice,
I don't know. I need somewhere where they speak my language.
Speak your language.
I don't got time for the. No, I don't want a cannoli. I need to go to the church. I don't know which way is the church.
That's all you do. You just put
cannoli. No, I don't want a cannoli. I need to go to the church. Thank you.
There you go.
I'll take the cannoli.
Yeah.
And then if you look at my two gentlemen sitting next to me, they are dressed up very snazzy today for the NBC Universal. NBC Universal is coming to the Department of Mass Comm at Iona College in search of dynamic interns for the spring of 2015.
Well, we're out.
Yeah. Hey, look, just don't show the overalls and you're fine.
I know. Dude, I don't want to talk about it.
There you go. Well, we'll get into that later in the show.
Why did you have to bring that up on the air, Joe?
I know,
Why?
Joe. Now everybody.
I'm sorry.
There was supposed to be a hidden. I woke up, right? So I'm getting dressed. I'm doing my thing. And then I realized that I know exactly where my belts are at my house on Long Island. So I'm like, okay, that's not good because I need them here right now. So I tried to do a little witchcraft. They wouldn't come. They wouldn't show up.
Witchcraft?
Yeah,
Okay.
I tried my best. A little black magic.
There you go.
No magic.
Wow.
Look,
Okay.
sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you got to try. You got to
try.
So I'm walking around. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do here? I'm just going to walk around without a belt. My pants are going to fall off. I'm going to look like an idiot. Like, what's going to happen here? So I went into my roommate's room, and I was like, hey, you got a belt? Like, I need it. And, it's early. Nobody's really awake yet. So, he's like, what? Like, what? What? So I'm like, yeah, forget it. So I go back into my room, and I realize that I have two pairs of suspenders. I've got gray suspenders or black suspenders, and I'm wearing a blue suit with a blue shirt and a red tie. So I went with the gray, but it's a light gray, so it really doesn't match whatsoever. So I had to put on the three-piece so I could cover up the suspenders with the vest. And now it's just a whole day long affair of trying to cover up my suspenders that don't match my suit.
Well, the light gray and the blue shirt are relatively close.
Are they?
Man, you think the world has enough problems. Now we got suspender things going on. Man, it's a mess.
It's not that bad. It's not like brown.
Fair enough.
Here's the thing. I don't want to sound a little harsh, but if I see overalls, I make a judgment. I'm sorry.
Dude, you're behind the times.
I'm sorry.
They're coming back.
Joe.
They are, really.
Yeah, they're making a
well,
comeback.
you know me. I'm stuck in my fashion ways, so that could be part of it.
You get you should be wearing a 42 regular, but you're wearing a 42 long kind of thing.
Yeah, there you go. Short sleeve, half sleeve, quarter sleeve, long sleeve.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's get into the news, though. On Sunday, we had just a fantastic TV lineup between sports, between regular TV shows, and the AMC's The Walking Dead returned, and it really had a good day. It recorded 17.3 million viewers, and Nielsen estimates that an average audience of 17.3 million viewers watched Sunday's premiere, besting the show's previous high of 16.11 million for its fourth season premiere a year ago by more than a million. So it did a million more viewers at the start of this season than last year. And Ken, I know you're a big Walking Dead guy like I am. For me, when I saw this, my jaw would just drop the moment it started.
Don't say anything, though.
No, we're not going to do spoilers on this, but I'll say, I want to ask you, was this the best, one of the best, maybe the best for you episode you've ever watched of The Walking Dead?
Well, dude, I haven't seen it.
Oh, you didn't see it?
I can't answer the question. I know, I'm mildly ashamed of myself, but Sunday was overwhelming for me.
It was, okay.
There was so much going on. There was Sunday Night Football.
Exactly.
With the Giants.
Yep.
The Rangers home opener was on, so I wanted to watch that. Just a lot where I wouldn't be able to rewatch that as I can, go back in time and watch The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
and I'll do that obviously before next Sunday. But the move from The Walking Dead from what was it, Wednesday or Thursday?
I think it was Thursday.
You
I'm
think it
pretty
was
sure.
Thursday?
It might have been.
I think Thursday
I don't
as well.
keep up with it like during
Thursday
the actual
sounds right.
Yeah, no,
airtime.
it's interesting though because you look at the competition that it has on a Thursday,
Yeah.
which is intense. It's
Very
especially
intense.
with ABC. ABC's got Thursdays on lockdown with Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, and How to Get Away with Murder. Just those three have like a cult following.
Yeah.
and I am one of the cult. So
There you go.
Thursday is taken away, especially with Thursday Night Football. So I think the thinking from the Walking Dead people on AMC was, well, Sundays are pretty empty, because the
Yeah.
Blacklist and Big Bang Theory are on Monday now, and like I said, ABC's lockdown is on Thursday, so Sundays are pretty, wide open for some.
And to kind of fill the void for AMC with Mad Men being
Exactly.
on
So
hiatus.
with just Sunday Night Football instead of Thursday Night Football and ABC cult following and other CBS shows, I think Madam Secretary is on Thursday nights also. Thursday night is a hotbed for TV because it's day before Friday and it's everybody who just wants to relax and then go into the weekend. But Sunday is day 2, I believe, is like, when you put on your second best lineup. But I think The Walking Dead, as the headliner for AMC, is trying to turn heads to Sunday itself.
Well, here's the thing. You're big when you can compete and you beat football. I've got the ratings right here. Walking Dead easily bested NBC Sunday Night Football game between the Giants and the Eagles. Roughly they got a 6.7. So, I mean, that is just massively
Well, I will say it
impressive.
wasn't a very good matchup
It wasn't.
in the NFL
Which
for ratings. Not that it wasn't a good matchup in the Northeast. The Northeast was probably really happy about it.
I mean,
But
here's the thing.
think about the rest of the country.
If you watch that game, the first couple minutes, I mean, basically the first quarter, you could figure out that game. Giants
too,
couldn't
and-
protect.
and-
It was going to be a field day for the Eagles. So, I mean, it's a good time, too, because even if you are a football fan, you watch, I mean, you got to give up maybe the first half of the game.
Right, because it's only an hour long.
And then you get to watch the second half anyway. You catch The Walking Dead, so it works both ways. But I'll say I'm excited to see what you thought about it because
Me too.
talking-
A lot of hype went into this.
Talking to a lot of people, I mean, I think they really set the bar. I mean, this is like
Now,
gonna
was it
set
a lot of silence or was it a lot of doing for the first time? in
I
a
thought the
while?
pacing was excellent
Yeah?
for the first episode. Normally, you're waiting, you're like, okay, I know where this is going, but it was the second it started to the end, it's just action, pacing.
Did anybody perish?
Did anybody perish? A lot of people perished.
Whoa.
I'm not gonna
Anybody
say.
I know? Anybody I'm going to be sad about?
I don't think any of your friends.
I'm not
going
gonna
to
cry, right? I'm not gonna Herschel
There are
cry,
going to be
'cause that
times
was-
where
oh,
you're
man.
going to be like yelling at the TV because you're worried. You know, you got your
I'm
good
worried.
friends. You're going to
'Cause
be worried.
I think it's like it's chaos right
It
now.
is.
Anybody can go, right?
It is
Isn't-
insanity, and there are so many moments where you're like, "Oh man, please, please, please!"
Wow.
But I think
Hopefully Carl is out of here soon.
actually
That's all I'm saying.
Carl isn't as big in the first episode, but I think
Good. Maybe he's out of here soon.
as soon
That's what
as
they're prepping us for.
Carl, hey, my brother saw Carl at Comic-Con. Carl doesn't get a
Really?
lot of credit.
Carl
know?
doesn't get a lot of. Carl is the reason why there's a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
I can find a way to blame it on Carl.
It's kind
at
of
some
funny.
point.
We all kind of. But I'll say that about the episode. I mean, I kind of joked. I was tweeting about it. I mean, it looks like they're going for a lighter tone this season.
Yeah.
This is
as gory.
you
right?
watch
It's-
the first couple minutes of that. You're like, oh, they're allowed to put this on TV.
Yeah, they were saying that a lot of hype went into
Oh,
the fact that
oh,
a lot
man.
of the actors and the producers and the director himself was like, I'm surprised.
There are
that some of the
scenes
stuff
in this
got-
where you're like, man, if I had a kid right now and he was flipping
You
through the
wouldn't
channels,
watch.
yeah, this
Wow.
would give
Joe,
you.
parental advisory.
Well, you know, I was just like, it's great to see because this is taking it to another level.
Yeah.
Like if you followed the show for a while, even for this show, which
Terminus.
it's got its moments where things are pretty gruesome, it took it to like an extreme in this one. I mean, it's pretty crazy. When you see it, Ken, you're gonna be like, wow.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I'm
It is-
probably not going to watch it tonight. Islanders Rangers tonight. Got
There you
no time
go.
for that. But maybe tomorrow. Wednesday.
Yeah,
got nothing tomorrow.
it's definitely not going to disappoint. I mean, out of the trailer,
I'm
for
sure
the-
I could find an
in
hour.
the end too. I mean, if you
do that.
thought for a while, you're like, man, could this episode was just great, and then they show the end, a little sneak at the end, and you're like, wow, this season's shaping up to be
Yeah?
very good.
Jeez.
Hopefully better than season 4 because there was a lot of dead moments in that one.
There
So.
was always a lot of dead moments.
But
It's
we
Walking
will.
Dead.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Dead is in the name of
Yeah, you
the
can't
show.
get mad at it.
There you go.
Now, Ian, you're not a Walking Dead dude.
No.
All right.
That's surprising, Ian. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
It looks like you would like it.
I
Everybody likes it. Even Armand is coming around to The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
He
Now,
is.
who in here went to Comic-Con? Who's the conner?
You know what? I was going to go. I never ended up going. My brother though is the big comic.
Okay.
I was going to
I
go.
remember
though.
your brother loves
Yeah.
the Transformers and
Oh,
whatnot.
but he didn't like it though. It was his
Really?
first one.
What did he see? I got a lot of Snapchats of people with Patrick Stewart,
Yeah.
which was
He didn't
cool.
like it.
I like him.
He thought crowded. Like all the
Well,
good
yeah,
things
that's
were taken away already. I mean, like basically people line up for that thing like
somebody
2
did
o'clock.
a really intense study on how long you need to wait in line
Yeah.
and how much waiting in line there is to actual content if you go to see like the main attraction or the main people that are there.
Yeah.
And it was something like 36 hours in line for
Oh my
an
God.
hour of conference.
Yeah.
You know, where you get to hear them speak.
That's not worth it.
Which is chaos.
Exactly. They
especially in New York. I mean, it's
Yeah.
New York Comic-Con. That's probably going to be the most crowded one. You know?
And my brother, I mean, he was waiting online for some of these like special items and things. They only bring like 40 of them. So unless you're like one of those people who waits in line
Yeah, right. You got to
36
sleep
hours.
there over the night, and you know.
Sorry, but a lot of people don't have time to sit there for 36 hours and wait for 40 items. So
Well, some people do.
some people do.
Good
Some
for them.
people do, and they take it to an extreme. And it was funny. He was saying like he was dressed up. Obviously, the big thing of Comic Con
what did
is
he wear?
he didn't dress up, and he was saying people are like looking at him like he was the
Like
crazy
he's
one.
the weirdo for
And it
wearing
was-
jeans and a t-shirt.
It kind of added a little perspective, you know, to things like I'm the one who's the out of place here.
Yeah, you're the
so.
Jersey guy, but you know, if you went to Jersey Con, you'd be like,
Oh yeah, I'd just be like,
fit
yeah,
right in.
another guy.
I don't like the word con
con. Yeah, I don't know.
because it feels like the guy from Star Trek, but it also feels like a shortened word for convention. But I know
Yeah.
it's not, and you know, it's weird.
Hulk Hogan was there.
Really,
That's something.
The Hulkster.
The Hulkster.
the Hulkster. I don't think that's what he goes by. Guys.
Speaking of Comic-Con, CW's most watched premiere ever happened to be The Flash, which aired last Tuesday. The CW superhero drama The Flash has become the network's most watched series premiere. They did really well, an audience of 6.42 million watchers. The Flash pilot episode also leaked earlier in the summer, which makes it even more impressive that
That
they
is
did that.
impressive.
I did watch the episode. Armand and I talked about it last Wednesday morning show. We both really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I think that's good for CW.
What I will say is that the CW could have put up a 60-minute episode of me eating Cheetos off of the floor, and 6.4 million people would have watched that over their other original content, which is really awful.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not as impressed because they actually made a good show. Maybe it's mediocre. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's better than mediocre. But hard to tell with the CW.
See, I think that's fair because if you
Because
look
who
at
the
their
heck
their
knows?
track record,
Yeah.
it's not. But I think they're coming along now. You've got
Yeah.
Arrow on
Now, how do you feel about
Wednesdays.
the Gotham?
I have not.
Have
You
you
know,
seen
I
it?
haven't caught it. But you got a heck of a lineup. I mean, if you're a superhero
So
fan,
much- I
Gotham on Monday.
hate
You got Walking Dead Sunday, Gotham Monday, Flash Tuesday, and Arrow on Wednesday. That's not a bad lineup right there.
And they're Marvel Agents.
Agents of Shield on Thursdays, is it? Is it that's
don't
an
know.
AMC?
No,
I don't
hate
watch
it.
that show.
I
so.
don't hate superheroes, but I hate superheroes. Like,
See,
come
that's
on.
that's why I love having
me
Armand on
something.
here. We're able to just geek out.
Yeah, you guys
just
really
have
geek
a
out
fan
hardcore.
fest.
I
Man.
could geek out on other things, but come on now with this, the Flash. What is he gonna run around for a while? We get it. He's fast, Come
And
on.
that was one of Armand's complaints was it's CW, so their special effects aren't going to be as
Exactly.
great. But I think they make it work a lot better in Arrow than I think they do in Flash, because Arrow at its core is still kind of like a simplistic hero. I mean, he doesn't really have superpowers. Flash is more superpowers with his speed, so it's kind of harder to get those special
That's why
effects.
Batman's always confusing. He's just strong.
He is. There's no,
Yeah.
and I kind of like that more about when the guys are just basically. He's just a regular guy.
He's wearing a suit.
There he is. He's not wearing hockey pads, Ken.
He
is
should be,
not
because he's
wearing
gonna get
ho-
hurt.
He is gonna get. He gets hurt all the time.
He does get hurt all the time, but you know what? He's got this miraculous recovery pace. Because he's rich, I guess. Must be nice.
Bruce Wayne. There you go. I love Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is me. I am Bruce Wayne. Come on.
Okay, whoa, that
No, I'm just
escalated
kidding.
quickly, Joe.
You know, I should give
Joe, do
a
you
plug.
run around at night in a bad suit fighting crime? Do your parents know?
I don't know. Maybe.
Is that why your mom hasn't made us candy apples yet? Because she's worried about you running around
You know
in
what?
a bad suit?
Speaking
I
of
think-
the candy apples and the cupcakes, I keep hearing about this every single day when I want them. So I think we've nailed
Well, Joe,
down.
you've got to answer the question.
Oh,
You
they're-
can't leave her out there hanging.
They are coming. She's going to make them for our WICR Radiothon coming on October 28th. We will have original programming from 9 a.m. in the morning to 1 a.m.
Oh,
in-
it's going to end at midnight.
it-
Actually, there's a little switch from the office.
Oh, there
upstairs,
is.
So they're going to shut you down at midnight.
That's fine.
But that's okay. That's still
okay.
So what is it? 15 hours.
15 hours
Wait
of
a second,
programming.
15.
18.
15.
I'm not a math guy,
15.
so you two can
There we
figure
go.
this
Ian
out.
got it. 15 hours
There you go.
of original programming. That's chaos.
That's chaos.
In my world, we have 27 hours.
Oh, yeah, is that how it works for you? Okay.
So that's how you get to 18.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're going to have people dressing up in costumes. We're going to have all the
yeah, we are.
candy apples, cupcakes. It's going to be a fun event.
It is
is.
gonna be great.
Halloween theme, so we got the music
And what day is
playing.
that?
That is on a Tuesday, the 28th.
Tuesday the 28th.
Should be fun.
And we're ready to go.
We are ready to go. I still don't know. I mean, we've got to wear costumes now, so I don't know what I'm going to do
Why
on
don't
that.
you just put on some pads and you can be any football player in the world?
Well, I was like, why don't I just put on a headband, put on my LeBron James
Oh, yeah.
Cavs jersey? But people are like, that's too easy. So
It is a little too
it
easy.
got
for you.
shot down.
Plus, you need to shave your head and recede your hairline a little bit.
Yeah,
Exactly what I was gonna
you'd have
say.
to recede it a lot
Yes.
based on where things are going. It's kind of scary. I was watching their game with the Heat the other.
Did
Obviously,
you see the pic he put on?
on
what's his
Norris
name?
Cole.
Norris Cole, yeah.
and then I was watching. I mean, I always watch LeBron's press conferences. I watch anything. I mean, if he was drinking milk, I would watch it. If it was
you
LeBron
put him on the
James.
CW, you'd have 6.4 million.
There you go. And
6.4
man,
Joes.
it's
6.4
amazing
Joes.
how his hairline has gotten even smaller now.
Yeah, he's
It's receded
he's not
even
old,
more.
right? How old is he? 30?
29, 29,
So
30.
he's
He
he's
must be
premature.
He's
Must be
reaching
genetic.
middle age, you know?
I gotta say though, I'm gonna be in the same boat. I know my hair's on its way out,
Uh oh.
and it's sad.
And see, here's the problem for you. You can't wear the headband.
I know. I
You can't wear the headband.
It's,
I mean, you could, but
it won't be a thing.
Yeah.
We'll try and make it a thing though.
now, Ken, are you a hat guy? Because that
No,
does
I
help.
look
part-
awful in hats.
Okay, that's the problem.
I look
Sometimes
awful in hats. I'm gonna have to embrace my shininess. I'm gonna have to. Once I start going, I'm gonna have to buzz it. Shave it.
Look,
shave it clean. Get
it's like
some
George
wax on
Costanza
it.
says. Sometimes you just admit defeat with it.
Yes.
Sometimes
and
you
I
lose.
have to say, and I don't know about you guys, but if I could pick one person in the real world who would be George Costanza, it'd be me.
Look, I have an
I can see that.
admiration for George Costanza. I've learned a lot of life
yeah.
lessons from George Costanza. He teaches you a lot.
He
does.
teaches you how to live in the real world.
He does.
That George.
Sometimes. I mean, look, I love George Costanza. The Seinfeld. Are you a Seinfeld guy?
Oh,
Ken?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The best.
Definitely.
That's one of those shows where it's just like no matter whatever happens, it's always going to be
It's the longevity of that show is
yeah.
amazing.
forever. The legacy. But I gotta say, I like Friends almost just as much, if not more.
See, I never used to be a big Friends guy, but
You like it more now.
I do like
that's
it a
what
lot more
happens
now.
When you
It's-
grow up and you get it.
For me, it's like one of those shows where I'm not always there, but when I'm in the mood for it, it's a great thing to sit down and watch.
Friends was like my favorite show when I was like
Yeah.
6.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like obsessed with Friends, and like my father hated it. He was like, I just don't get it, and I was like,
Now, was your dad a Seinfeld guy?
Because a lot of Seinfeld people didn't
Weren't
like
big
Friends.
Friends people, yeah.
He's more of a Seinfeld guy, but he's not like a huge Seinfeld.
All right.
Okay.
My brother's huge on Seinfeld.
Oh,
and
there you
then
go.
Yeah, I
like,
can see that.
yeah, and then like he got me into it, and I was like, wow, this is like great television right here.
Yeah, I gotta say, Friends has always been like one of my favorites.
Now, are you a bigger Friends guy than Seinfeld guy?
Yes,
Ken?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm bigger Friends than Seinfeld, but
Okay.
Seinfeld's, I mean, it's up there. It's top,
Exactly.
top 3.
See, I
at
grew
the
up.
very
I think
least.
it depends where you. I mean, I grew up in more of a Seinfeld household, so I
Yeah,
started.
it was more of a
even-
Friends household.
But then
we,
I kind of.
we didn't watch Seinfeld. Every time we would always watch Friends, from the reruns of Friends when I was little, from like 5 to 6, right? They were
That
always
show
on.
ran pretty long
Oh,
time
yeah.
too, right?
It ran one more season than Seinfeld.
Wow,
so 10
so
seasons for Friends.
That's
9 for
impressive in
Seinfeld.
its own.
And so we'd always watch Friends from like 5 to 6, or like 6 to 6:30 or whatever. And then there was always chaos before the Islanders started at 7.
Oh man.
Right, so it was
I believe
6:30
it.
to 7, and nobody really likes pregame shows.
Oh no,
They
no
can
one
try
likes
their
it.
best to make pregame shows interesting, but nobody's gonna watch them.
When you're a fan for like a little while, you watch like when you're little,
Right, 'cause
you
you
watch
need to
them.
learn a little
you
bit, you
learn
need to
more.
learn, you know,
but
you
there's a
need to
point
hear
where
them.
you're like, I get it. I know what they're
Right.
gonna. I know it.
I'm
I
just
don't
ready
need to
for the
watch
drive of
this.
the puck. Right,
Exactly.
I'm ready for the game.
Just play
Right, here
the
we
game.
go. So from 6:30 to 7, we would always watch The Simpsons
Oh,
Okay.
on
Beautiful.
Yeah.
on Fox.
Beautiful.
But there was a time when Seinfeld would be on from 6:30 to 7, and The Simpsons used to be on from 6:30 to 7 and 7 to 7:30.
Right.
So there were times when they switched the 6:30 spot between The Simpsons and Seinfeld. And when it was Seinfeld, we wouldn't watch.
okay.
When I was little, my
Wow.
dad wouldn't put it on. He
There you go.
wouldn't
Look,
go
you
for it.
can't control the remote, Ken. I can't blame you. I can't.
I know,
blame you.
especially when you're little, you have no control over that remote.
No,
and you have
show-
older siblings. That's it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the end of the
Forget
day.
about it.
That's
Forget
the end
about
of the
it.
day. You get your parents, right? They get first dibs, kind of. Mom never gets first dibs. I don't know what
No.
kind of house you guys come from, but mom never gets first dibs on the controller.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why. It's rude, but who cares? Now it's mine. Now I get first dibs now, and I'm in my prime TV controlling state right now. This
You got to
is-
take advantage.
I'm
of
in
it.
my prime. I just signed a long-term deal.
Nice.
You know, for good
5
money.
year, 180 mil. There
Oh
you
yeah,
go.
just changing
taking the
channel.
money to the bank.
Just changing the channel.
No
But-
two shows I don't think got enough credit. I think we all go Seinfeld and Friends. Everybody knows. I don't think King of Queens and
I
Yes
love
Dear
King of Queens.
get
Oh
enough
my
credit.
God.
Yes, dear. I
King
was
of-
never a big fan of.
Real? Okay.
Yes,
King
Oh,
of Queens.
Ian, you're a
though.
Yes Dear guy.
Yeah.
You just made me very happy,
Yeah.
Ian. I love
King
that
of Queens
show.
was that's
Ki-
if I had to
was
pick my
great.
top 3 sitcoms, it would be Friends, King of Queens, Seinfeld in that order.
Okay. See, I would probably go Seinfeld, Yes Dear, King of Queens. So basically
Wow.
the same with the
Yeah.
exception. I don't know.
You know what? It's Ben Stiller's dad, right? Is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Oh
my God.
He's
I
my
love
favorite.
You know, I also have to put Everybody Loves Raymond up there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't
You
like
know
it
what?
that much.
Okay.
Really?
I think underrated. I will go with underrated. I say
Yeah.
Ray
Yeah.
Romano is a very underrated comedian. I think the show and whatever her name is, she is
Patricia
like
Heaton.
Patricia Heaton.
There
She's
you
still
go.
around now. She does
Yeah,
the
she's
middle
on
now,
the
right?
middle.
Yep.
Which I also think is a very good sitcom.
It is
I like
good.
the
No,
middle.
No.
I like the middle better than Modern Family, and I know I'm
Wow.
wrong. I know I'm wrong, but I like it more than Modern Family.
The thing with shows, I mean, sometimes it's an acquired taste. Like Yes Dear, I understand why people might not
Yeah, I
be as
never
big
got
on that.
into it.
But if you're like Ian and I, like you love
yes,
it.
Yes, there is the
Yeah.
best.
Jimmy Hughes.
There's something about the one-liners in King of Queens, though, that really gets you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
my favorite one-liner was Ben Stiller's dad. I forget his name. Is he still around?
Yeah.
All right, good.
He's still around. Yeah,
I
I
get
love
nervous
him.
that he's gonna die soon.
Look,
I remember the guy,
it's-
the old man from Everybody Loves Raymond died when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know
that
what's
was
going on.
sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Ben Stiller's dad comes upstairs and he's looking at the calendar and he goes, whatever the woman's name is, he goes, "Honey, Jesus is coming on Thursday."
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I start laughing because it's kind of funny. And then she goes, "No, Dad, that's Jesus, the furnace guy."
There's so many. You're right. I mean, you're spot on with that. The one-liners in that show
no,
are
that's
so
how that show
good.
get. Because
Right.
Kevin James is a very underrated actor.
I think so.
Not even in just a comedic sense, but in like an overall, like he's very relatable.
Even
Yeah,
his
oh,
movies,
definitely.
which aren't that great, I mean, his
You watch him
performances in
because
them
you
are
like
still
Kevin
good.
James.
Yeah, exactly.
Hitch.
Like Paul Blart
great.
Mall Cop.
Paul Blart.
The only reason I
Stupid,
went to
but I
see
loved
that
it.
movie is to see Kevin James.
It was funny.
That's all.
It's Paul Blart.
Paul Blart. There you go.
And the way that like he's a physical comedian, he's so agile for his size.
For a big man, yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's toned now, right? Didn't he get a little? What was that movie where he was a teacher and he had to fight MMA and?
Oh, I didn't see that. I know what your movie you're talking about,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So he really bulked up a little bit there.
Yeah.
He got better looking.
There you go, Kevin
He was a little
James.
scary looking for a while. He's big.
Yeah, he was. That's why I love the episode of King of Queens where he goes to play football and Carrie tells him, and it's like this thing, it says stuff about like heart conditions and stuff like that. It's like, in case you didn't know, these are all bad things. And then he's just like, yeah, I kind of tired. I feel bad. I gotten out of football. She's like, what, the 12 hours that you watch on the couch on Sundays isn't doing it for you? So stuff like
It was
that.
funny.
What a great show.
Yeah, King of
Reminiscing about
Oh,
King
yeah.
of
Gotta
Queens.
love it.
Gotta love
Good.
the King.
So good. Well, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. We've been going on for a little while now. When we come back, we'll get into a little bit more serious news, maybe segue into some sports. But thank you for joining us, and stay tuned.